as soon as they leave the junkyard, Gen's just gonna let the others slowly get ahead and put a hand on Daniel's shoulder as they're trekking through the forest, knowing that with his survival skills, he can catch them up quick enough.
Again?
That was beyond stupid, Daniel.
It was.
You can't impress her if you're in a hospital.
Well, I could impress her in a hospital if I was doing surgery, but not on myself.
Regardless, you know what I mean. It's not cool to hurt yourself. No one's gonna be impressed by it. Impress her with your mind. Your muscles, you can do it with time, but you're gonna get yourself killed.
Again, I appreciate the you being very frank with me, but despite my age, I am not
A child?
I am not a small child. I can grow. I can
Yes.
I can contribute. I can do things that you can't do. And I can do things that Alexander and Martin can't do. And not just things with my mind. I do have a body.
You're right. You do. But you also have to realize that just because you can do doesn't mean you should do. I won't stop you.
I feel
I
like
did not stop you this evening when you wished to get down on your own, or when you climbed up. I did not clamber up after you because I believed you smart enough to understand that Ray and I were there to assist you.
Yes. And Ray came charging up, and that is what the pile tumbling down.
Really? What looked to me
Yes.
was that the pile was unstable regardless of Ray.
The
Placed
pile
his feet
was
in the best
unstable,
spot.
but again, please listen to me. Because I was up there. The pile was unstable, that is true. But, as I'm sure you would have no problem pointing out, I am much smaller than you. I am much smaller than Ray. So my weight would cause less disruption to the pile.
Listen, all I'm trying to say is next time, be more careful. Because you may not just end up with that. And Ray points out the gash that you got
Again.
from trying to jump through the bus.
I agree, and this has become a problem. It's become a problem for my studies too. I feel myself slipping. I have this problem. Sad not for now. For now, we build a truck.
Yes. And if you're coming with me on the mountain climbing, you should pick up some for yourself, some gear.
Yes, that would be wise. We have the technology, but I don't
And
want
with
to
that-
spend a lot of money.
Same.
Sorry.
I think
I
I ended
saw
up
we
spending
can
like
build it.
100. I think I
Yeah,
ended
it
up
was like
spending like $100.
150, 200 for
Yeah,
it was like
that
150,
was,
200 for the climbing gear.
In that case, I'll just say the 200
Daniel?
and say it was the good gear.
Daniel? That's really funny because Daniel is just like in total agreement with Gen. He's like, I was out of line, but also I did kind of know what I was doing. which surprised me.
Which is why Gen isn't, mother henning you. He's just
I found that
know
pretty
what you're good
interesting
at.
because it's kind of like Daniel was like, "You're right, but like, I'm still not like wrong."
Yeah, and that's something that two adults can understand is you don't just
Or two
because
teenagers.
one person is right, the other one isn't necessarily wrong. Which is
From
why
my point of
Gen
view, the
treated
Jedi
you.
are evil.
Which is why Gen treated your arguments with respect. At least I tried to.
I mean, Gen's whole deal is kind of like respect.
Mm-hmm.
At least he tries to.
Yes.
There are still foot and mouth moments. I'm sure that if Daniel knew about the business with Sakura, he could give Gen a good saying so, but he doesn't, and he wouldn't because he's also not good with social aspects.
Yeah. Also,
Not great.
I
He's
think
getting
Gen
better.
cleared that one up pretty much as well as he could, saying that he supports Sakura. He just can't support any team that has Kenzo in it.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyone else have an immediate thing they had to do after the junkyard scene before I start advancing some stuff? I'm just asking now out of politeness.
I can't think of anything important at the moment with Ray.
Okay.
Nope.
I'm just asking while we're
Unless-
here.
unless-
Ray might
unless-
want to.
With the whole Ray Daniel,
I
actually
was gonna say Ray might
would
want to get patched. up.
patched up. Yeah. So he'll probably
Like both Ray and Alexander took some damage during that.
Don't remind me.
Yeah.
I mean, we can
When
patch
you tried to eat a window with your hand.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily Alexander didn't scream loud enough.
So
I mean-
that's just Alexander and Aaron's secret on that one.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll keep it that way.
Just go talk to Aaron. He has no filter.
So I either go to Daniel or
I
go.
guess what I'm saying is like no scene is necessarily, but I would like to make a medtech roll to see if I can heal that wound.
I mean,
off of
hey,
Ray.
here's let's make it a small roleplay scene if you want. He's gonna come up to you, Daniel, like probably like as we're near going to the truck and all that. Hey Dan, think you can fix this? Pointing at the gash.
Oh yes, I should be able to.
Thanks.
I'll have to investigate the wound. I am sorry. Daniel's saying I'm sorry, but there's an undertone of maybe next time let me do my thing.
Ray just shakes his head.
He's like, apology. He's sorry you got hurt. He's not sorry the reason you got hurt.
Ray just says, "Don't be. I'll be fine. It's just a gash. I've had worse."
Let's see what I roll. Eventually it'll roll. That's a pretty good roll.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, you'll be able to bandage Ray up just fine with that. I mean, to be honest, like a one wound point thing. Normally, if it's only one wound point in Cyberpunk logic, you can lose that within like a day or two, regardless.
Yeah. Thanks.
Even without medical aid.
Yeah, it's like minor wounds will eventually heal relatively quickly, is how Cyberpunk system works.
Yeah. Nerd. Thanks, Dan.
Still.
He'll be fine. He'll heal.
Oh.
I've had worse.
Daniel kind of looks at where his shirt was torn, where he has that deep scratch that I guess wasn't technically a wound, and just, I haven't.
Close.
It was. And it didn't have to be.
Can't be good.
Once that's what gets.
He just shrugs.
But that I think Daniel's gonna leave at that point, like just leave that conversation on a thread,
Ray just shrugs.
and we can go on with your thing
Yeah.
unless Alexander has something he wants to do, or someone he wants to do.
He has to gather his pride right now.
Gaming logic doesn't work in real life.
Pride.
GTA betrayed me.
Oh my god, it's so good. The Junkyard was just the area of dumb stunts.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Hey, and some of them even worked.
Yeah.
Some of them worked.
Damn it, Ray.
I'll be honest, you guys like extended the Junkyard scene by like 30 minutes longer than I had planned, but that's fine.
Oh, you gotta be. Sometimes you gotta dare to be stood. It's like the song.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So everyone it's gonna start montaging the next few days. So pretty much like school life kind of returns to a bit of a medium. Everyone's going to like their different classes, going to lectures. But it's gonna montage like those like next 4 to 5 days. Just give me a brief summary of what each character would have been doing in that time. No orders specifically, just go around the room.
Ray would be, the usual, attending his classes. He would be going to the swimming club and, continue his training there. Nothing much other than that, pretty much. Just continuing on those, checking up his wound. It probably heals by a day or 2. Yeah, that's it. That's really nothing much he would be doing other than doing studies and swimming training.
Okay.
For Alexander, he'll probably see before the event starts. He'll probably go to Aaron and see if he needs help with anything, or check up on him once in a while. He'll probably try to spend time with Ivo if he can.
Okay.
What else? Oh, and study the event, where the area of the event is going to be. Study it. What they should watch out for, if there's any what type of weather it usually has, and all that stuff.
Okay.
Gen is going out to buy his equipment. He offers if Daniel wants to come with him, he can help him pick out gear.
Daniel will accept that offer.
He also leaves a note for Sakura that says, "Thanks for help at the junkyard. Might want to invest in climbing gear if you haven't already."
Okay. Anything else Daniel would have done separate from the group or what's been explained?
So, the junkyard had a weird effect on Daniel that I didn't expect, in that he's found a new interest. In addition to cracking down on his studies, he's been practicing jumping off of things. Not necessarily things that are really high up, things like inches, just to work on his agility. He might, at a later point, if you okay this for existing, he might at a later point try and get into a free running club.
Getting into new clubs at this point in the year is kind of nigh impossible, simply because once everyone starts what they're doing at the beginning of the year to the halfway point, you're kind of locked in. If you want to practice with them on your Sunday off from everything, you could do that here and there.
Nothing else. I'm sure Gen is a runner.
Yeah, basically.
He probably could jog with you and do that.
Oh yeah,
Same with Ray. Same with Ray.
I'm sure Gen and Daniel are gonna go for runs, but the kind of running that Daniel's thinking about is a tad different than your average everyday running.
Are you talking about parkour?
Yes, parkour free running.
Is it bad to just imagine like the Office segment of them doing parkour hardcore and like failing on like everything with parkour?
Parkour.
Like doing
Beautiful.
like a flip off of the couch and yelling parkour.
Is parkour.
Basically, Daniel got a taste of the Nathan Drake life,
Pretty impressive.
and he liked it more than he thought he would.
I mean, I don't think Gen specifically does it, but he could probably help you do it just because I think that'd be under athletics.
Yeah, he can do like he can do. I'm sure Daniel's gonna warm up or practice with a lot simpler stuff, just like running hurdles and shit.
Mhm.
Okay. You do take the time to practice. Insert 80s training montage here. But anyway, everyone goes about doing what they said they were going to do for the next five or so days because the events aren't back to back from one another. There's always a grace period. As far as what your party members do, Aaron kind of keeps up with his studies at the bare minimum and is mostly just working on getting the truck up to spec before the event's officially announced because his truck was borderline a junker when they started the year. Vivian's gonna basically sharpen her music skills up a bit, kind of ramp it to the next level and studying like her linguistics courses a bit heavier. And then Ivo will basically just do what he's always done as far as practicing capoeira with Ray and swimming like that.
Yeah.
Martin kind of secludes from everyone a little bit and keeps studying that tape and like other stuff you guys have found, just trying to come up with as much as he can.
Gen makes it a point to visit him each day, make sure he doesn't need any assistance.
Yeah. You do again, but like the shit that Martin has like displayed out, so, like trying to understand Mandarin with only like knowing one phrase is essentially like the levels of complexity.
So Gen walks into the room one day and is like, huh, I know a couple of those words.
Well, it's not like actual Mandarin, it's just like
Yeah, but
of, like all this.
But that's the thought process that goes through his head. Is just I've seen a couple of these images before in my life. Maybe, I think.
Again, that's a squiggle.
Alright.
It is an intelligent
equalizer.
man, but not a cryptographer.
Yeah. So, pretty much, as everyone's doing all of this stuff, everyone will gain, like, different statures for the event, essentially. When we get there, is how this is gonna work out. So, pretty much, this school week progresses, everyone has gotten back into a rhythm of doing everything. Would it be fair to say you guys had like a day, like at least like an every 2-3 day meeting to talk about like school stuff and like go over the competition, stuff like that, or is everyone doing their own thing separately?
Well,
I mean, we
had
all
our
have.
study
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well,
Everyone
study
in the group except maybe Martin is part of that study group, so it probably becomes an unofficial meeting.
Probably, sure.
Alright, I'm just double checking to make sure you guys are keeping up the study group.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can have Alexander basically leading it now, just because Daniel's still got a lot to say and get ahead on his study, but he's probably less ahead than he was.
He went from being like a week ahead to like 2-3 days ahead.
Which is still stupidly good. But competing with Alex over there in the awkward zone. I
Get
love
takes
it.
over
we
for biology.
really haven't even done much this session and the shade's already being thrown.
I know,
I
right?
love it.
I'm just here sitting, taking all this shade.
Don't
If I
worry.
go-
Don't
if I go
worry,
too
Kevin.
far, please let me know. I'm trying to be like chill, but
You're
it's
good
so
at it.
easy. It's
fun.
so
It's fine.
easy.
It's just a joke, that's all.
It's alright. He's just gonna be the first one of us that goes on a date and and it becomes official. I think we're all just gonna have to look at each other and be like, damn. We got showed up.
I mean, I'd be down for that, especially if it was Martin.
Yeah. We stand Martin.
Alright, so pretty much I'll go ahead and advance this forward so we can get on to the big meat and potatoes of the session. So pretty much as we clear the end of like this montage stuff, pretty much all of the other groups seem to have at least become aware of like the basics of what this event will be by the end of this period. But you don't know if they know more or less than you, and you can see them around like campus. And just to give a few of the teams so we can actually start having better descriptors of who you guys are competing against. We have the one main team that was but now you know at least about half of the main teams.
Oh, great. We have Bindi.
I said it in the team pick thing. If you guys don't pick her, she would probably appear as an enemy. That was
pretty
in the
much
doc.
yeah. Like we pretty much knew that for all of our picks though. So
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't
There are
regret
a
the
few people
team
that got
we
deleted. There are a
chose.
few people that did get deleted from that list. So most of them were retained, but a few were like, get the fuck out. They didn't want you to go.
you are not
Focus
worthy
on
of
your
this
studies.
competition.
Yeah, so pretty much you get the feeling that the main teams are aware of what's going on. Now we're going to do one small scene for each of the main party members, and then we're going to transition into the leg of this game, of this session. Again, you're in bio class with Daniel and everyone else, and you can see that since Amanda had her lecture, there's been a little bit more of a focus on the virology study in class.
Again, he was never a bad student, but he's definitely more interested and seems more hyper-focused on this stuff.
Yeah, and this is talking about how, like, these particular strands have mutated, like, how they were discovered. It's essentially, like, what Amanda went over in her lecture is this is, like, another flavor of it. It's not going over, Ouroboros, but it's, like, going over, like, the basics of the T-virus that's known to the public. And then, is there anyone that you would normally sit with in this class, considering that you have this class with Daniel, Akari, and like 2 other people that you know?
He probably alternates between Daniel and Akari most, but if they're taken, then he'll just sit by anyone. He's not too picky.
Okay. Then, as the class wraps up, the bio teacher, Miss Alicia, basically starts packing up her notes, and then is looking over like the different graded papers, and is just kind of sitting there looking over her schedule on the computer after class wraps up. Are you gonna say anything to her?
Gen definitely does go up and ask a few like pointed questions that perhaps were because he's done a lot of self-study on this subject, at least what he as a civilian could. And so probably points at stuff that he feels were a little less gone over, and is like, you know, how did this affect this? How did that do these? But no questions specifically that I as a player now.
And she would have cleared up a couple details if any of you asked. She basically gets up out the room, ready to go to her next period, because this is like a university where not necessarily all of your classes are in the same room all day. The teacher will alternate depending on the schedule. Again, roll me an auditory.
Do I get any
Don't have
mods
that.
for this?
No, it's flat.
Alright. 12.
Okay, with that 12, you're going to basically be walking down the hallway, and you can see that Miss Alicia basically stopped and started talking to a colleague in a different language that you're not really super familiar with. But at one point, they swapped back to English for a little bit, and she goes, "So are we having another meeting?" Then the male colleague that does the chemistry class, Mr. Edwards, basically replies to her, "Well, we've already finished the first round of studying on what Miss Wannabe left with us. I think we've got another meeting in like a couple days by the old building."
This definitely catches Gen's attention, and are they like near a corner or?
They are on the far end of the hall, like you are barely able to hear what I just said.
Gen is going to turn and he's just going to walk past them. He's not going to look at them or anything, but he's going to continue listening and head for his class in what would be an odd way.
All right.
So they can listen for a little longer.
As you go down that, they speak a little bit more, and like you can gather that they are working on samples left by Amanda Wannabe. And pretty much, as soon as like they hear footsteps, they change back to the other language that you're not super versed in. And they really don't pay you any mind as you go by.
Okay, then.
Ray.
Yes.
You're walking to basically go to your class, and then basically you can see Martin and Linda kind of talking, which Linda was one of the other people available for pick. She's darker skinned, has more of like amberish, maroonish hair.
Okay.
And they're talking, and you can see them like hand something back and forth to each other, but you can't really like make out what it is. So roll me an awareness.
Sure. Yep. All right. Wow. Okay, 19 with a fumble.
Okay, roll me a 1d100. Don't do worse than 40.
47.
47. Just high enough.
Okay, so you are able to make out that whatever Martin handed her was rectangular, then whatever he got back looked like a scrap of something.
Okay. He'll sort of walk up. You two doing coding?
Linda just kind of turns to you. Come again?
Oh, sorry, I thought you were just talking a lot and just suddenly giving papers to each other, so I thought maybe you're doing, work on your whatever skills you have again. The coding or whatever it is called again.
Martin kind of gives Ray a bit of a flat look. And he doesn't like say anything, but he gives a bit of a look like, you're kind of fucking it up here, man. And then Linda basically just kind of dead faces towards you and goes, well, some people appreciate privacy.
Sorry. Step out of your hair.
And then after you leave, you can kind of see them like bicker a little bit, and then pretty much you can see that whatever was exchanged was promptly unexchanged.
Okay. Alright. I'll keep an eye out, but I focus on the class.
Yeah,
Well,
and after you finish class, Martin comes up to you and is like, dude, what the fuck?
I'm just curious what's going on, man.
Well, you don't need to know about every single thing, man.
Alright, alright. Was it about the stuff, or was it a private thing?
I was trading intelligence, okay?
Alright. Okay.
They had another clue about the event. I was gonna give them our VHS tape for that because I've already gleaned everything from it. And they took it till you showed up.
Alright. Shit. Alright. Does it deal off, or?
They did make one way the deal could still happen, but you're not gonna like it.
I already like it.
What happened?
Okay, so I tried to smooth things over with Linda. I kind of have to walk on eggshells around her, given that she basically has the whole prep club. But she basically said if we owed her 2 favors, she would just give us that scrap. And favors for her are more than just like, hey, can you help me out on this?
Let me guess, jobs. Of sorts.
No, it's just 2 things she requests she gets from us.
For the trade-off.
Yeah, for giving up their clue.
Well, crap. Any idea
Guess
what?
it's up to the guys if we do it, but that's what we're looking at.
So you got more clues. A single clue to as.
I think that might be the last one I really need.
Any idea what these 2 favors can be?
It could be as simple as one day we just help the prep club with some of their assembly stuff because they do practice a lot, or it's we do something for Linda that fuels her kind of shadow war with the drama.
Oh boy. Okay, well, I guess we'll have to discuss with the other guys on the matter. Sorry for interrupting.
It happens, but just figured you should know.
Well, it's good to know anyway. So the rectangles and circles, was that the, you know what, actually, forget. I don't know what was going on.
It was our VHS tape with their piece of paper.
Okay. I mean, I'd suggest discuss with the guys first of all to see if it's worth it to trade a VHS tape for whatever scrap clue, but because they might also use it, you know, like we may have gained from it, but you know. We'll discuss with the other guys and we'll see. Alright?
Alright.
Class
See ya.
coming up soon. See ya.
Alright. Alex. So, I'd say this is after Airsoft Day, which since the tournament started, it got moved to Saturday, simply because, like, it's what works out the easiest in the Japanese school week with everything going on. This is, that Saturday, and you guys, won a decent bit of matches out of, like, the 5 teams playing. And then you're basically sitting there, and Abdul is looking over like some notes in his book. And then pretty much because you guys did pretty decent for the day, you went to the cafeteria, and everyone got, you know, ice creams and sweets and stuff, and they're bringing them out on platters.
Please don't let it be.
And then your tray comes, and then right in front of you is a vanilla slushy.
Okay. Alexander would grab the slushy and hold it for his dear life,
Okay.
knowing that most of the time something always happens with this slushy.
So like, bruh, it's been like what, one time in the actual game over 10 years ago at this point.
It was a traumatic 10 years.
Okay, so you grab the slushy and you start looking around, and then you're like, oh, okay, and then you just set it back down on the tray, and then they like give you a spoon, and nothing really seems to be happening.
Okay. Okay. Alexander tries to eat his vanilla slushy, hoping nothing happens.
Okay, so as you're sitting there, you pick the spoon up. Roll me a reflex.
Oh God, no! I already knew it. Just a pure reflex, right?
Yep,
No mods, right?
-2 because of the meme.
Ah, damn it!
Please tell
Yes.
this is the best
Oh
day!
God! My slushy.
All right, so you pick your spoon up, and then you scoop a little bit up out the cup. Then as you pull it up, basically out of nowhere where they're practicing on the soccer field, the soccer ball comes out of left field and basically hits the slushy and the spoon out your hand onto the ground.
You can see Alexander just looking at the slushy, remembering 10 years ago about his red slushy.
It's a blue raspberry slush.
Okay, fine, blue slushy, and just stares at it, all distraught, despair, and then looks at the soccer field and looks at trying to find out who kicked that ball.
And one of them yells,
A
"Oh my bad,
body
man!
has
Can you like
been
pass it back?"
discovered.
Alexander grabs
What
the
were we
ball
saying about
and-
Alex's dignity? Like a page ago?
Alexander grabs the ball and kicks it far away to the other side, away from the player to the enemy team.
Please. Please.
You do that, and like they don't really give a mad look, but they give like a "all right, whatever" kind of look and go back to playing soccer. And then as you're sitting there, remembering the loss of your slushy in the distance, you can see Kenzo talking to Linda.
Okay, I see Kenzo and Linda talking.
Yep.
Alexander would try to sneakily, not walk by, but get close enough to hear what they're talking about.
All right, roll me a stealth.
That's under reflex, right?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay.
Let me double check. We'll say it's reflex because you at least have evade in that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
23. All right. You do, and you kind of sneak up, and you can hear them talking, and well, someone was on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
You creep your way up there, and pretty much you can kind of hear them like talking back and forth, and you can gather what they're talking about pertains to mostly the competition. And then after they talk pleasantries about that, Linda kind of changes the subject. So, Kenzo, I heard you got your rep hurt recently. And then he goes, I didn't get anything hurt. No one won or lost that fight. And she's like, word from the other students is that you didn't really have much of a plan if you couldn't get the crowd going like you did. And then he goes, look, just don't worry about it. I'm going to give you one of our clues. You give us yours. That's it. And she's like, good to know that you can be shown up by a small German boy. And he's like, he didn't show me up at all. If anything, we knocked out one of their guys. Whose friend had their arm dislocated? Kenzo looks a little peed off at that, and then he goes, all right, Linda, can you do us all a favor and keep it to yourself for a bit? And she's like, well, what's it worth to you to get back even? And then Kenzo gives her a look and goes, talk later about this. And then he kind of storms off. And Linda has a bit of a small grin, like she's very pleased with herself right now.
I take out my phone and try to write everything that I can remember of this conversation with Linda and Kenzo, and send it to the group, so they at least know that Kendall's team has a clue pertaining to the event, and Linda's team has one as well.
Okay.
And also slide in some information about their little Kenzo's embarrassment,
Daniel.
Yes?
Fair to say, like, because this is the farthest you've ever been away from home for an extended amount of time, it'd be pretty reasonable for me to say for all of the characters, you at least, like, try to keep up with family that's not there with you at the school at least a little bit.
Yes. Daniel was just considering calling his mother and father, and maybe his sister.
Well, actually, it's about the end of the week, and you get a call, and it's your mother.
Hello, mother. Translated
Hi,
to German.
Hi, Daniel. How's it going?
It is difficult, but I am applying myself as best to try and father proud.
Daniel, you don't have to do us proud. You're already doing us proud. How's it been?
Thank you, mother. That is very sweet. I have some friends which are interesting.
Interesting. How so?
Well, there's this one kid, Gen, who is like, how do I say? He is giant. He's, at least to me, he is a giant. And then there's Ray, who is my roommate, who he is very no, but he means well. Then there is Alexander. I swear he is smart, but he's not the best at showing it.
Daniel.
Yes?
I don't. It's not very nice to say, Daniel.
True. He is extremely gifted, but he is not gifted at social things. I suppose I am also not the best at that, but I am making an effort to improve.
She goes silent for a bit, and she goes, "Would you say you've been doing very well here in Japan?"
It has been hard, but I have been. Yes, I think that I have adapted to my life fairly well.
Oh, good. I know you're doing us very proud just being there.
How is father? How is God, I do not remember his sister's name. I know I wrote it down, but I don't remember it.
Maribel was your sister's name?
Oh no, it wasn't Maribel, it was Leonie. It was Leonie.
Leonie's doing just fine. She misses you, just like the rest of us. And then Father's been working very long hours.
I am afraid that I inherited that trait from him. I haven't gotten as much sleep as I would have liked.
Well, Daniel, Weathermen are very strong. Don't be ashamed of it.
To be honest, Mother, I am a bit worried that if I don't learn to catch up on my sleep, that the giant will punch me into ground like tent steak.
Oh, honey, you'll do just fine. Just get your 8 hours, keep up your studies, and we'll be very happy to see you when you can come home for break. But in the meantime, just do like Mr. Simmons said when you were a kid. Be strong and don't let it keep you down, okay?
Of course. Is there something you wanted to tell me with this call, or was this just touching base?
I can't see how my son is doing. Oh, I see how it is.
Oh, no, not at all.
No, this call was just to tell you that we all love you and we miss you and we're very proud of you. And then Mr. Simmons is going to be stopping by the school.
What?
Yes, Mr. Simmons. You know he's a very important man and he's got an appointment. He wanted me to let you know so you can say hi to him. You haven't seen him in a few years.
Out of character. Should that name sound familiar to me?
Yeah, you know Mr. Simmons. He's like an old family friend that doesn't live in Germany, but he does stop by somewhat regularly. Like, he's known your mother and father for a long time.
Character, is he a work
As a
buddy?
player, I feel like I can see where that's going and I'm worried. But Daniel is probably just like, now that I know that he knows me, he's like, oh yes, it will be very nice to see him again.
Yeah, and
Familiar faces are hard to come by.
Yeah, and one other touch out of character is it's been a few years since you've seen Mr. Simmons at the very least.
Ah, my spider sense is going off the wall.
All right, well, honey, you have a great time, and we'll see you soon.
Ah, yes. You as well, Mother. Take care. Make sure that Father doesn't work too hard.
I will. Love you.
Now, you too, Mother. Goodbye. Oh, also, like, I imagine after he hangs up, also there's this girl. I said that a little loud.
That's everyone's key scenes that I had to get done. Is everyone going to talk about the whole thing with Linda as a group, or no?
I was kind of hoping we would, but it's not up to me. I don't have that information. It's Ray.
I'll say Martin has something to bring up with us. Martin, if you would. So
Okay. Okay, Martin will just basically like explain what the deal was with Linda and how it fell through and what the new cost is.
That's unfortunate.
Do we not already have enough information to go off of for this challenge? Trading 2 favors for 1 clue doesn't seem balanced, at least not this time.
Well, it was gonna be an even trade, is what Martin says, but that window's passed.
What if we think about it this way? In a game of scavenger, sometimes, how do I say this? It's the fact that they don't have the clue is as important that we don't have theirs. So we are still equal with the other teams because of our tape that we have. We're keeping our evidence from them as much as they are keeping it from us. That is my take.
That's not going to be helpful, because as I sent the text message to everybody, Kenzo is going to trade his clue with Linda, so it won't really be fair, as like you said.
Yeah, and
Yes.
then Viv will just pop up. Linda's always been the best when it comes to working people.
But you said in your text you stated that they had at least a partial disagreement during their meeting, right?
Yeah, yes, it was about the fight that we had with Kenzo, and how his reputation was slightly damaged in a way.
Perhaps, personally, two favors is a bit much for my blood, but perhaps we can come back with a counter. We will give them our clue, they'll give us theirs, and we give them the promise that our teams will not actively hinder each other.
I mean, that could work.
That is interesting.
This gives them the assurance that we will not hinder their progress, and until we become either some of the last teams or one of our teams drops, they have the assurance that they have one less enemy and one more partial ally.
Is there a way to mislead them with our clue?
If we were doing a direct exchange, then that might not be wise.
well, you
Can't we
don't know what's
just-
on the tape.
They haven't seen the tape yet.
So,
I am personally against such underhanded tactics.
they
I
could do the
suggest not
same with
taking the
us.
deal. I just suggest not taking the deal until what happens.
It's what you guys
But if we-
want to do.
If we deny their deal in its entirety, then we are saying we do not need them and that we can succeed without them. This sets the precedent that we believe ourselves better, and thus snubs a possible ally.
Doesn't have to. It can be we don't have any way to pay the 2 favors.
We don't know what the 2
I
favors
don't
are.
believe that we can win by meeting them all the way across the aisle. I am with Gen. On that, at least.
Alright.
What do the others think?
Aaron's kind of passed out in the back of the room because he's been working on the truck nonstop.
Poor Aaron.
Viv basically pipes up and she goes, getting on Linda's bad side's not a particularly good idea considering her reach goes well outside the bounds of the competition.
Oh, crap.
Yes.
My opinion is that we only offer her one favor for the exchange. That way they get somewhat of what they want and it keeps things smooth.
So, Daniel, who was firmly on the we don't negotiate with opponents bandwagon, after hearing Vivian say that, after hearing some sides, I think this is an excellent point. And the social aspect is part of the reason that we wanted you on the team. It is your wheelhouse.
Again, nods to this. You are the one with the best silver tongue of any of us.
Vivian kind of smirks a bit.
Daniel realizes that he had an outburst and he shrinks.
She kind of scratched on the back of her head a little bit, but I think we should hear everyone before we go with any idea. Then Martin will just say, I think whatever we do make's gonna have pros or cons. Preferably our best shot we had was just the solid trade-off, but nah, that's out the window.
Again, nods. That's understandable.
What if we gave her half of the clue? Not per se all of it, but just half of it.
I don't think
Martin
that
pipes up, if you
works
cut a
that way.
VHS tape in half, it doesn't really work.
No, I meant like
Again, puts a hand on Alex's shoulder.
I'm sorry.
Alex,
I'm laughing
I understand
because
what
it was Martin who said it. So I just imagine like this with Daniel just like so enthusiastic when he speaks. Every time Martin speaks, Alexander just murr. I wish him the best, but it's funny.
Again, put the hand on Alex's shoulder. I understand what you're trying to do here, my friend. It's admirable that you want to win, but if we are making a deal with someone, we need to be honest and open.
but
Free trade only happens where trust has been established.
that's the problem. How can we
This
trust
is
them
true.
to give us the actual clue and not something to mislead us?
This is Linda we're talking
After
about.
all-
She's a shark.
How
What do you think
do-
about?
It is
How do I
true that
say
she
this?
is a cunning woman. Go on, Daniel.
In every deal, the first deal, you don't know how both sides are going. There could be a betrayal. If the first deal goes well, then that opens the doors for better future.
Indeed.
That is simple.
And Linda has a reputation to uphold. It is not just us she makes deals with, she makes deals with everyone. And in order for a person like that to stay in business, their reputation is everything. If they start to misinform or purposefully sabotage their customers, who would ever buy from them again?
Okay.
I agree with Vivian. We try to go for the one favor instead of two.
Well, one favor for one favor is already gone. At this point, it's just about maximizing what we can get while also acquiescing to her.
Martin, do you know how big this clue is?
Let's just say it'll help us out pretty heavily, because it'll give me a full map on what we're looking at, and then it might give us a hint for what's coming.
So I again propose that that we accept their deal, but we do not accept their deal, but counter it. Vivian makes a good point. We should offer them at least a favor. So, I now propose that we offer, as I said the first time, a partial alliance where neither of our teams will make moves against each other, at least openly, until we are forced to. And secondly, that we either give them our clue or an open favor for their clue. This way it is still as even as can be made, while also remaining less one-sided in their favor.
Or shrugs. Whatever's needed.
Well, if that's what the majority wants to do, I'll contact Linda.
Okay. Then what about
I think
Ken?
that seems like a good idea.
Then what should we do about Kenzo's group's clue?
Kenzo.
I
say
they
we,
have a hard time understanding it.
Oh? We show them that we can beat them, and that we are a worthy ally. Not to Kenzo, of course.
We can't really do it with Kenzo, I think. They didn't make the deal. Can't really do much.
Perhaps that can even be part of our agreement, is that we make a show of it by removing Kenzo.
I don't think we want that.
With the two of our group, we can...
Also would remove Sakura.
I would not feel good about removing Sakura, but...
I don't think we can. I don't think we should just try and make an attack against Kenzo or anything like that.
I am firmly against any kind of sabotage if that is what we are talking about.
Oh no,
I
not
would rather
sabotage,
win in a
but...
good clean game.
Elimination in match. That has to be a goal in the match. Can't really.
No, I'd never intended for us to go for sabotage. We will win this above board, but we will, when the chances present itself, show our strength to her by removing somebody who has, as Alex has been so kind to alert us to, at least in small ways, insulted her. Again looks to Daniel. Daniel, at this moment there are no stupid thoughts, save those that were not voiced.
I can't help but feeling like Kenzo isn't beyond redemption. Maybe I'm just naive. I still blame myself for that fight. I was the one who instigated it. Had I just gone to the teachers, like I have been taught how to do my entire life, it never would have happened.
Well, Kenzo has been doing this not just to you, but to many people for many years.
Yep.
Yep.
So you're not the only victim on this case. Look, I'd say there's an opportunity. We'll try if we have to, but I'd rather we can focus on our group. The opportunity presents itself.
Yes.
Let's see. Our goal is us.
In every experiment, there is a control and a variable. We are control. We can control what we do. The other team is a variable. We must excel. And if Martin needs another clue to excel, Then, have you made the call yet, Martin?
No, I'm waiting until we finish here, and then as soon as she's available, I'll meet with her. You guys are welcome to come if you want.
I feel like it would be best if you met with her alone, and if the rest of us stayed back, just because your last meeting was
Yeah, apologies for that.
unfortunately interrupted.
If we were to send
Okay.
anyone, I would say Vivian should, as we all agree. We all agreed. She has the most highly valued skill set in this particular scenario.
That is a very good point, and I am certain that Vivian would not let us down. He doesn't actually smile like that. I was just doing it for comedic effect.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
Alright, guys, I'll set up. And can someone wake Aaron up? He's starting to drool in the corner.
I got this. And
Okay.
again gets up and starts nudging his friend.
Deadly game of freeze. Touch you with 44 mag.
A deadly game of
And just kind of like cocks his head a little bit like, huh, that's a new one. Aaron, I'm about to pour water on you. And just nudges him again.
And he kind of like leans up, and then his eyes only like a quarter open. And he's like, just get off of me.
Uh-huh. Well, you're starting to drool, so I need you to wake up.
Sorry, Holmes. I'm having to rebuild a whole truck within about 2 weeks.
Do you need help
No
with
one's
that?
blaming you for your exhaustion. But, you know what? Why don't you and I, head back? I think we're finished here, right, guys?
Yeah,
I could say so.
Get you in a proper bed, that way you can get some proper sleep.
All right. And we'll end the scene there. School fast forwards about another 2 days. Martin's been trying to figure out a good time to get Vivian and Linda to meet to do the one favor exchange for the clue swap. While that's happening, it basically transitions to the midday, and wherever anyone would be, whether it's the rec area between a class or like at club or at or in class, you can hear over the intercom. Students, I have a wonderful announcement. We're going to be starting the second event here very shortly. Anyone who's on a main team or auxiliary team member, please meet by the obelisk. It's gonna be fun.
Okay.
Out of character, do I think that we're gonna go directly from the obelisk to the next event, or do I think I've got enough time that I wouldn't necessarily want to be bringing my climbing gear and whatnot with me?
You know that because of your guys' clue, the next event's not taking place on Toshima, Toshima, the current island you're on. You're knowing that it's going to be going somewhere else, so you think you'd have probably more than enough time to run by your room.
Okay, in that case, I leave it in there so as not to give anyone any ideas as what to bring.
What about the car? How's the vehicle?
Aaron's got you
Probably
guys
by
covered.
boat.
Yeah, Aaron's got it covered. And probably the teachers will do it also.
Alright. Daniel's gonna try and I guess, are all of our auxiliaries coming to the pillar?
Yeah, everyone's coming to the meeting at the
Okay.
obelisk fountain.
Daniel's going to try and pick up Ivo along the way.
Okay, you pick up Ivo. I mean, he was already making his way there, but I'd say you two meet up along the way.
All right.
Are you gonna roleplay anything, or are you cool just advancing it?
I either or, whichever one you need.
Preferably for time, I want to get this scene over with so we can start getting to the events.
Gotcha.
I should just get
That's
into
why
the
I was
events.
making sure it was cool, because I did have something that I could do with Ivo
There,
now,
there
but I can
will
also
be
wait.
there will be time. It's just this is starting things off.
Yep, gotcha.
Yeah.
Just still, Daniel just
Just
wants to walk there with Ivo. That's all I was gonna say.
Okay. Everyone's kind of gathered, and you can see like all of the teams there that's left being the main 8 teams right now. Everyone's kind of gathered, and you can see like how it works is the 4 main members stand in line around the obelisk, and then the auxiliaries stand in like a pool behind them is how they have it set up. Then Mother Gracia comes out of the main administrator building. What a lovely day, children. How's everyone doing? And then everyone just starts like saying, as would be expected around her, doing great, Mother Gracia, kind of like that flat monotone deal. Anyway, I won't beat around the bush. It is time to start event 2. Now, we have some penalties and some advantages to give out based on how people did with the last event, and those will be given to their team separately, just so it's fair. 2. Whoever has what clues, you could have prepared yourself better. By now, though, everyone knows the basics of what they needed. Now we're going to be having this event on the neighboring island, Yoranjima. It's a little bit more inhabited than this one, simply for the younger children's safety. All of the teams will be ferried there in 3 different ferries that we have rented for the event. Your vehicles are to be driven on the main road there, and you'll get more details about the event in the envelopes given to you. Good luck, everyone, and only 6 of you will be coming back minimum. Maximum, there might be a few more eliminations, but best of luck to everyone, and it's an honor even to make it to phase 2 of this competition. Good luck. And with that, she'll have a couple staff people hand out envelopes.
Alright.
And with that, Mother Gracia kind of starts walking back towards the building, getting her travel arrangements made and making sure someone's there to run the school on the interim time that this is going to happen.
As they walk back again, we'll sidle up next to Martin and say, "So, how'd the deal go?"
We got a meeting time between Viv and Linda. Probably gonna have to be on the ferry, but if they give me that, I can figure it out quick.
Alright, good. And, thanks. Couldn't do this without you.
No problem, man. If cryptography is only going to be useful in weird contexts, this is about the best time for it.
Alright, I'll let you and Viv get to it, and I'm gonna go pick up my gear. Meet you on the ferry.
Alright.
I'm assuming Daniel also purchased some climbing gear alongside Gen. Chris, you said that costs 100, right?
We put it as anywhere between 100 to 200.
So
Yeah,
depending
I
on
went-
how much you spend depends on how good a gear you buy.
Yeah, I went for the full 200 because I didn't buy a whole lot at the beginning, and I figure Gen is an outdoorsy kind of guy,
Doing
so
the
he'd probably
same.
go for higher quality.
Daniel just doesn't want to fall on his face, so he's gonna have
Alright,
the highest quality as well.
so we both went with 200.
Yep.
All right. Who's opening the envelope to find out what the penalty is from the last event?
Uh,
I'll do it.
Leonard? Oh, okay.
alright, yeah, Daniel can do.
Yeah.
Okay, you open up the envelope and it's on very nice linen paper, and basically you pull it out and it says, as a result of being the last team to make it back from the scavenger hunt, you guys will have to keep 2 auxiliary members out from competing, though they will still travel with you guys there. And then the hiking team will start at a 15-minute delay versus the others.
Daniel just slow turns to Gan. And then holds the linen paper out towards Gan.
Alright, Gen takes it, reads it, nods. Well, I guess that means we're starting 15 minutes late. And we'll look to everyone. Alright, guys. 2 of us have to sit out on this one. Martin, you've pretty much done everything that that we needed you to. If you want to join in with this, I guess you can. If you want to run with us, but if not, feel free to sit this one out.
Hey, I think we should just wait till we're all on the ferry and talk it over. We're all going there anyhow.
Yeah, all right.